guys, welcome back to my channel Fruitful Linens, where I teach people how to design, save, and live. Today we're going to be going over setting up my first July paycheck, as well as checking out what I spent in the past 2 weeks from my wallet, where that money went, as well as adding some new envelopes this time, and even a few new sinking funds. If you didn't see my previous video, I encourage you to watch that because I have some unexplained money in my sinking funds. So if you didn't see my unexpected income video, I highly recommend you go watch that before this video so that you understand why I have more money in my sinking funds than I did the last time. So let's go ahead and get into it. I already went ahead and set up my budget for my first paycheck, and I did make a little mistake here. Like I said, if you didn't see my previous video, I already set aside the money for my car insurance and cell phone because I knew that this paycheck was going to be really tight. So I went ahead and crossed those out, and I did not include those in the total down here. So basically my standard first paycheck of the month is $14.22. My actual standard paycheck is $13.57, but I get $65 reimbursed for my cell phone, which I just totaled that up to get the $14.22. Okay, and then again, this is my last ever rent payment. That's why there's a little star right here. And this is my last ever rent payment because I only have to pay for half of August. So this is exactly half, actually a little bit more than half. So that should be plenty to cover August rent. And if you hear some weird noises in the background, that's my dog Rusty throwing a fit because I'm not paying attention to him. He's here laying on the bed next to me and having himself a little fit. Okay, and then the mortgage again is $500, and that's half of it. Half of my car is $100. And then this recycling bill was not something that I had expected to get right away. I knew that it was coming, but I thought you would have paid after the service was rendered, not before. So that was a surprise to me. It's only $30, but I am a little upset because they haven't delivered our bin yet, but they are still charging us for the quarter. So I'll be calling and complaining, and they mentioned that they may be able to give me a credit back for the time that I missed on that. And then for Pandora, it actually came out yesterday, but I'll just say that it came from this paycheck because I had a little bit of a buffer in my checking account. It's not a big deal. So basically that $5 just gets left in my checking account to replenish what was taken out. Planet Fitness has not yet been charged, but will be shortly, and that should be the full $22 this month. And then my Discover loan, half of it is $178 as usual. My total bills is $1170. That leaves me $252. My expenses have changed a little bit. I added 2 new envelopes, as I mentioned in the beginning of my video. So gasoline is still getting $60. Groceries was cut in half because my dad and I and Caleb started meal prepping, and basically last weekend we spent, well, I shouldn't say we, my dad spent a bunch of money getting us started with the meal prepping, including buying containers and everything, and like overall it was like $200 or something like that. But now the upkeep is much lower every week, so it's going to be about $20 per person per week. So since I get paid bi-weekly, I'm only taking out $40 every 2 weeks, and then I'll just give that to my dad on the week that we buy groceries. And who knows, it could be less than $20 some weeks or more, but I wanted to shoot for the higher end of $60 a week for 3 people or $20 a week per person. And then fun and date night is still $40. Dog food is still $20. Clothing was not an envelope that I had before, so I got this little envelope. It came with my wallet that I bought, and I'll link the wallet down below if you're still interested in that. It comes with trackers. It comes with the sticker to write your label on. And there were 10 or 12 envelopes that it came with, and I chose this one for clothing because it looks like the llama is wearing a little blanket on its back, and I thought it was cute for clothing. So that's getting $10, and that is because all of my work clothes have holes in them, and I really need to get some more work pants, and I haven't honestly bought clothes in a really long time, so it's definitely a much needed category, and I don't plan on putting a lot in it, but I do need to get some work pants because that's becoming a problem. Luckily, I can wear jeans to work, but it seems like every pair of jeans I buy, the button pops off, so I need to go get some of those buttons that you can just pin on. Okay, and then the next new envelope is beauty, and it's getting $7 because I had a weird number left over for my sinking funds, so I just went ahead and took that extra $2 into beauty, but normally that would get 5 or 10 depending on what I'm saving up for. This time I'm saving up for a haircut, which costs about $30, but I usually give about a $20 tip, and I don't know, I don't really dye my hair, but like when I get a good haircut, I give a good tip because it's very rare that I actually like a haircut that I've gotten. So I wanted to make sure I had the money ready for that when it comes up. And also this can be for like any makeup products that I run out of that I have to buy. I don't wear makeup very often, but when I do, it's kind of expensive. So it's just a good way to have the money set aside for that. Okay, and then moving on up, it looks like I have $75 left over for my sinking funds, and we'll move on up to those. So pet is getting $5, birthdays is getting 10, car maintenance is getting 10, travel is getting 10, Christmas is getting 25. And then these are 2 new envelopes as well. Business and recycling are each going to get 5. And I won't show you those envelopes because it's just the same clear envelopes that I've had my sinking funds in for a while now. You can look at my very first video if you want to know how I wrote on the envelopes. I explained that at the end of that video if you're interested. So that total comes out to $70. I have 5 left over, and in my snowball I'm going to put that extra $5. So you'll notice that I didn't put any money in Oh Dad, and that is because I did get that unexpected income, and if you watch my previous video, you would know how much I put in Oh Dad, and you'll see that tomorrow when I actually get paid and actually fill this out. I will say that this is probably going to change between today and tomorrow. I did get to this a little late. I meant to do this at the beginning of the week, but I've been studying for an exam that I have to take tomorrow, so it's all been a little bit crazy. So the income might be a little bit different because I am supposed to sell something today for a decent sum of money. So this may change, the actual may change because I may have to stuff that money. However, I should be getting that money in cash if I do get it at all. So I'll go ahead and go through how I decide how to split up my bills. And I'm sorry I always have my paper turned at an angle, but I'm right-handed and that's just how I'm able to write comfortably. It's hard for me to write straight up and down. It's more ergonomic to just write like this. Okay, so for groceries, I mentioned that it's going to be 20 bucks a week. So for the $40, I'm just going to do 2 20s, and I literally in the 20s column just write 2. Date night is the same thing. We never really know what we're going to spend that money on, but even if we have to break a 20 for a tip, we typically do that because there's 2 of us. You know, we usually spend, you know, $50 plus. So we when we do go out, so we just make change with the 20s. And then dog food is going to be 120, and with the dog food, Caleb buys it on his debit card and I just give him the cash for it because he does pitch in for that as well. So, and then clothing is going to get $10, and that's just going to be a 10. I have no reason to break it down. I try to do the largest bills I possibly can. I have no reason to break it down into 2 5s or a 5 and 5 1s. I just think that's silly. And, you know, technically in these envelopes, if I have a 1 or a 5, I have to put it in my challenge. Now, with the exception being beauty, because it's only $7 this time. So I won't be taking money out of beauty because it's more of like a save until you spend type thing. So I won't be taking the 1s and 5s out of beauty because it's going to be a 5 and 2 1s, if that makes any sense. So that's a 5 and 2 1s. Pet is going to be $5, and this is the sinking fund, not the dog food. Birthdays is getting $10. Car maintenance is getting $10. Travel is getting $10. Christmas is getting $25. So that's a 20 and a 5. Business is getting 5, and recycling is getting 5. And this recycling is billed quarterly, so it's $30 every 3 months, or $10 a month. So I'll just do $5 a paycheck in there. But I'm paid up until September, so once I have the $30, I'll just let it sit in there until I need to start replenishing it when it comes due again. So once you have all of those done, you just total up the columns down here for the total bill count. So I have 2 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, 4 of those, 4, 5, 6 of those. And so 6 20s is, I'm having trouble with math for some reason, $120. 4 10s would be $40. And 5 5s would be $25, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, yeah. And that would just be $2. So the total should be $160, $185, $187. And that should be correct. So that's how I take out the money. And like I said, this extra income that I may or may not be getting, you'll find out tomorrow in tomorrow's video, will be in cash, so I don't need to put that on here. So this sheet can change, but this one won't necessarily change because I should be getting that money in cash today. If you know me, Facebook Marketplace is my best friend. I love selling things on there. I've made, you know, a surprising amount of money just selling stuff that I didn't want anymore, or stuff that I've bought and refinished and sold. I also do furniture refinishing, so I have sold a few items. And I do a lot of buying as well, so I think I'm still ahead on the selling game though. I do make quite a bit of money when I need to get rid of something. And then, as promised, we're going to go through what I spent in the 2 weeks. And like I said, I don't keep trackers on these. I just kind of know whatever's in there is in there. So for home, I just stuffed this with my last income. So it should have $60 in it. I haven't touched it since then, so there's really no point in showing you that. I do have a receipt in here from before, and this is mostly just because I like to save receipts. So we've got one from Home Depot that Caleb paid for, and one from Ace Hardware where I bought some glass, and it came out to like $6.41, and I had some change left over from that, and so those ones went into the challenge envelope. And then for groceries, this time I'm completely cleared out, because before we started meal prepping, I had gone out and bought some things that we needed for the pantry. So all that money went goodbye. And same thing with date night. Literally the day we stuffed it, we went out to eat and spent all of our date night money. But we really deserved it, because moving to this house is stressful. And then I still have $20 in dog food from the last time, and that's accurate. I still should, because we don't have to buy dog food yet. We're probably gonna have to buy it tomorrow. So when I stuff that $20 in here, I will just give Caleb the $40 in cash, and then he goes and buys the dog food, which should be about $45 or $50, and he just makes up the difference with his money. And then my challenge envelope, like I mentioned, I had some change. And so the way I do my challenge envelope is, if I see a 1 or a 5 come back to me, I don't wait until the end of the week and then, you know, have spent some of those 1s and 5s. I don't do that. I know some people will spend for the whole week or the whole 2 weeks and then see what 1s and 5s they have, but not I. I like to challenge myself. It's a challenge. I think it should be challenging. So every time I see a 1 or a 5 come back to me and change, it might go back on the envelope because I'm rushed at the grocery store per se, but it might, you know, get shoved back in here crudely because, you know, the anxiety of people waiting behind you. But once I get home, that money, the ones and fives, comes straight out of there and into this envelope. So I'll just go ahead, and I'm not going to count it, but I'll just show you, like, in 2 weeks worth, like, all of this was change. Mine, except for about $5, I sold some things on Facebook Marketplace, and it was all in ones. So even if I sold $5 worth of stuff, so even if it was a 5, it still would have gone in here. So it's not stuff that I'm worried about. It was stuff we were going to get rid of anyways. So the 5 ones went in here. And this is just changed from things I spent money on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that some people like it when I explain and kind of write down at the same time what my money's going to when I'm planning for the next paycheck. But I just feel like if I write it down and explain it, it should be just as good. It's just less video that I have to speed up of me writing, and I feel like that can get a little bit boring. So I tried to streamline it a little bit this week, and then I had more time to show you like what I spent, how I fill out, how I'm gonna take my bills out of the bank. I had time to explain my new envelopes and my extra additional sinking funds that I created, and I just had a lot of fun making this video. So if you would, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, tell your friends, do all the things, and I would really, really appreciate it. It really helps my channel a lot, and I'm so, so happy that I've got people enjoying my videos, and I just hope that you have a wonderful day.